Hi, Caroline. Let's go over your rough draft. The first thing that I noticed is that your header with the page number is in the wrong corner. It's at the top like it should be, but instead of left-hand corner, it always goes in the right. That's MLA. This is very attractive. I like this. It looks very good. I think that this is correct on that sample that I gave you, but I did not tell you how to put my name in here, and you have to do that. Also, you originally had a parenthesis on this side and a parenthesis on this side. Just take that out. Then this is another. I've gotten everything from April of 2011 to April 2012 to whatever. Now you're a very optimistic person. You're thinking ahead. Well, or not. You don't want to be in this class this time next year, but anyway, change that to 22. All right, so let me kind of go here and talk about your lead, which would be at least probably that long. Make it remarkable. When you're going over this or somebody's going over it, say, hey, can you give me any suggestions for my lead? I mean, are there any quotes that somebody who's famous has made, or it might be a politician actually, but how can I start it out so that I can get the audience's attention? Okay. And we'll get to that later because I'm not really sure who your audience is, and I need to know who that is. I don't really get a sense of it from reading your paper. Okay, here I told you to correct this, but I didn't. I actually tell you how to do it later, but you've got people in your group. You need to learn this. I mean, this is the next to the last paper. After this person's name, you take that comma out, and then you put the period after that. Okay, so all right, then here you said one of the major issues that has led to the recent spike in poverty that interrupted a steady decrease in unemployment. That actually is a sentence fragment because you don't have a subject. What is one of the major issues? Okay, so are you saying I don't know what you're saying actually. Are you saying during the pandemic, an already bad situation with unemployment became worse? I don't know what you're saying, but let me just say, make sure this is backing it up. Okay, what your quote is. Also correct this. I showed you how to do it, so you need to get none of your in-text citations is correct. So you need to go back and do all of that. This picture is taking up way too much room. So I would make it smaller. I would also center it. Let's see if I can do that. Okay, which I can. So I would probably put figure 1 over here. Maybe go back a little. Tab. Okay, that's good enough. All right. Then this, let's go ahead and make that smaller. So I'm going to just put this in the single space. Let's see. Gotta go to the whole screen. All right. For right now. Okay. Now this really should go underneath the picture. So I guess you could make it a little wider. Yeah, that doesn't look so bad. Okay, now take out all of this space here, but remember you have to have 4 spaces. That's double space. Now that's 4. Okay, and then you wrote that. Okay, and you have your 3 separate citations in there. Okay, fix that. Okay, on your solutions, several things. I have no idea who your audience is, and I have no idea after reading this what your 2 solutions are. I don't know if it's raising the minimum age and finding more jobs. I don't know, and that's a big red flag. I should know by reading the very beginning of solutions what they are. So state your 2 solutions in this paragraph at the beginning. And if your audience is the mayor of Dallas, I think I put the major of Dallas. Oh, it's been a long day. That should be mayor of Dallas. You might say, if the city of Dallas puts a program in place that blah, 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 whatever it is that you think are the solutions, they're just not clear to me here. Okay, then this, of course, would go up to the top. All right, there we go. And so okay, make smaller, should be a noun. Oh yeah, here, that money is earned and America was built on that one fundamental. Well, fundamental is an adjective, a fundamental what? That what needs to be a noun. A fundamental premise, because premise kind of means the same thing, or is built on that foundation. Maybe that's a noun, but don't use fundamental unless you're going to put a noun after it. Okay. There's something I want you to make smaller. I'm trying to, maybe it was that picture. Okay, this should be a noun. Okay, that's fundamental. Okay, and then also you use second person and you used a contraction. Neither one of those is allowed. You can't say, oh, and by the way, take this, if, take that space out. You can't say you can't say I, we, our, us. You can't say any of those. Okay, so yeah, no contractions. And here, correct that in-text citation. As I looked at benefits, I kind of got a little bit of what you were talking about, but I still am not sure what you were talking about. So restate the sentence there, because you said the benefits of welfare as shown in figure 1 have been proven. Have been proven. I mean, that just, and by the way, that is figure 1. Why are you talking about figure 1 way down here? Okay, so you could say as shown in the figure on page whatever. But I don't think I'd say have been proven. You might say something to the effect that no doubt, comma, welfare has benefited millions, as seen in figure 1 on page, whatever page it is. Okay, then coming here, correct this in-text citation. Keep on going down. Again, not much to say about the conclusion, because again, I don't know what it is that you want to, how you intend to mitigate the situation. Then on here, what I've told you here is the works cited is completely out of format, and it needs to be on its own dedicated page also. But what I was going to tell you is I did tell you that, where's the one down here? This one did not have an in-text citation. Now this one here, it's got some really strange looking, you've got a period and a comma there. I don't know why. This looks very strange to me, this citation. I'm going to look it up, but before I look it up and tell you, you need to go back and do it again, I would suggest that you make sure that it's correct. What you did, and I'm going to leave my comment the way it is, you put "we act" or something like that in the parentheses. You didn't put the quotation marks around it. So how am I supposed to know to look it up with "if we act now"? This actually is short enough that you could put the whole 4 words in quotation mark, "if we act now," quotation mark. Okay. This one here. Another thing that I found is that you would be like, for example, for this one, you might put page 7. Well, there is no page 7. This is the page range right here. So make sure, because I'm going to make sure, you know, this one might have been the one that had page 13 on it. Go back and check, because I will recheck this, and I don't take kindly when I show this to y'all and you don't fix it. Just make sure you're not just putting some number there, just an arbitrary number. You put Act Now Volume 2, and first, that's the one that you need to go back and put "if we act now" in quotation marks, and you don't have to put Volume 2, but you also did not put the period where it belongs. Okay. So you need to make your you need to have a better lead, much better lead. And you probably have people in your group that can help you with that. But what I was going to show you here, okay, you got figure 2. There is way too much space here. This needs to be a lot closer here. Okay, and I'm going to put this. Okay, we'll go to that button and go to that. You could go to paragraph. All right, and then I'm going, because there's not, that's just double space. So I would just do 2 more. I'd hit that so that you have 4. Now between the paragraphs, the reason you know it's a new section is because you have it in bold. Some kids are even underlining there, so whichever, but this goes on its own page. So at the end of this, you could drop down to the next line, go to insert, page break. Okay. And then you're going to have to take out all these extra lines. But Works Cited actually has its own dedicated page. I've always told y'all that. So, but you need to have this correctly formatted. Again, I don't understand why you're not using Noodle Tools, because it does it for you, and all you have to do is bring it up and copy and paste it. It's already formatted for you. You just have to go in and change EBSCO to Academic Search Complete. So anyway. Okay, so I would suggest you clean this up, that you try to come up with a good lead before you hand this off, but also be sure that you make all of these corrections before you hand it off to somebody, because otherwise you're going to have to give it to them again. Oh, by the way, that doesn't go all the way up. There we go. Now it does. Oh, if you have something that's dangling like solutions, just there's not that much room at the end, go ahead and send it on to the next page. But this has to stay. You cannot put the caption on figure 2 on one page, the image on another page, and your caption on the other. But what you can do, they all have to go together. So this is what I'm doing. I just highlighted that. I'm going to go to group. Oh, it won't let me do it because of that. Okay, wait. Okay, now I'm going to go to group. Should let me do it. Oh, you're not letting me do it. Okay. Highlight. Oh, well, what it's doing. Okay, I'm trying to do a right click and say group. And then when you do that, I did it with one of mine. It keeps them all three together. So there's no way that you can separate it. Now see, it comes back. See if you can get it to do that, or even if you can't, that's okay. But don't separate these three things in both of your figures. Say this and this and this are inseparable. Play like they're glued together. Okay. Let's see. Okay. And clean up your in-text citations and also your works cited. Your margins are off, it looks like, because this all should come over where this is, which it might without the comments. I don't know. Just make sure on your copy that there are 1-inch margins all around. And how you do that, you could go edit, select all, and do a right click paragraph. Okay, these should all be set at 0. I'm sorry, 0. Okay. It should be double. It should be double spaced. Okay, and while you're there, I would go over here and make sure that all of this is Times New Roman. Now notice that I did not, yeah, here we go. All right. All right, so now your margins should be fine, but you're going to be sure to indent every paragraph. You'd bring this up. Presentation is a lot. If you're giving this to the mayor of Dallas, you want it to look very, very official. You could say many would, I don't know if I would probably say many might, or some would. I'll make that red, meaning I'm putting that word in there. Okay, just make sure you go through. Okay. Okay. All right, yeah, now this is fine. You just have to do the hanging indent and make sure that everything's formatted correctly. Again, if you put it on Noodle Tools, it should be there for you to copy and paste. So it should not be a problem at all. Any questions, let me know.